What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So over the past 3 to 5 days, we've been getting a lot of reports from lawmakers saying that they know what to do, they have an idea of how to get there, but the hard part is exactly how do they do it. Here's what we know. Democrats say that they plan to cut roughly $1.5 trillion off of the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. That would essentially bring it down to just $2 trillion. Well, okay, we know the numbers. We understand the cuts. But Democrats don't know what to cut. They have no idea. They're trying to figure out the best solution, the best options. But like I said, I was probably like Saturday or Sunday. I told you guys this. The problem is every senator, every Senate Democrat has power. All 50 Senate Democrats have the same amount of power. And if one person decides they are not going to vote in favor of the bill because they want their own agenda added in, the bill's pretty much dead. It's stuck in the water right there. So some say that this discussion, it's ongoing. But right now, everyone's trying to determine where others are at. If there's going to be more money in the bill for certain provisions because somebody else is dropping their agenda. If that's the case, somebody, a progressive most likely is going to try to push for more. When others are like, okay, I'll drop mine for now. We'll address this later on. It's not pressing at the moment, but I want to discuss this later on. And so they might drop their idea, their plan. So here's what we know. Lawmakers, they want to expand the child tax credits. Now, whether these turn into or stay monthly payments or turn into a lump sum at the end of the year when you file your federal income taxes, right now we don't know, but the expectation is they will be a payment every single month. Now, here's what you need to keep in mind. Right now, the assumption is that instead of going for 4 years, multiple lawmakers have said, let's just push for 2. Here's the other issue, okay? Or not really an issue, but here's the other option. Instead of going for 2 years at $3,000 and $3,600 per child, what if we went for $2,500 or 20, let's say, $2,400 or whatever, right? $2,400 and $3,000. What if that was what we did? Because that would be $200 per month or $250 per month. That would actually make the bill cheaper. So instead of $300 or $250 and $300 per month, we go to $200 and $250. Now, the reason why this was brought up is because many progressives say we can't just push for 2 years. We need to go for the full 4 years. Well, the full 4 years, that turns into a very costly program. I think that's like $500 billion just in itself. So that's one of the more expensive things. We also know lawmakers want to expand the earned income tax credits. That one's not extremely expensive, but it's one of those things that some people say it is needed. And yes, it does help those lower income earners. We know Medicare, that the vision, dental, and hearing, all those want to be expanded as well. But the question is right now is, do all 3 of those get added in or just 2? Right now, the discussion is possibly just 2. So we'll see. We also know that there's a big push for ARP subsidies and shoring up the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. This is actually being pushed fairly hard by Nancy Pelosi. She does want this. She has been pushing for this for some time. We also know funding for universal pre-K is still being seen as a must. What we are hearing is that not just lawmakers, but experts are telling us that we need more people, or we need more schooling for children. That 12 years is not enough. We need more. We need to require more schooling. So universal pre-K is one way to do that. And let's say it's 1 to 2 years. Well, that would give us an additional 2 years on the front end. And if we provide, tuition-free community college on the back end, that would provide additional 2 years there. So an additional 4 years total, or 16 years. That is what many people say is needed in order to make sure that people here in the United States are as educated as in some other countries. So We'll see if that is something that they do push for and does pass. But again, that's something that is still being seen as a must. Now, there are still talks on tuition-free community college, but here's where the hang-up could be. Right now, Senator Joe Manchin and others as well support this. They want to see that there's some form of means testing behind it. We are not just going to give free community college or tuition-free community college to people. That's not what we're going to do. Now, here's one thing I do want to bring up. When they say tuition-free community college, one thing they need to understand is that if you have to apply for books or get books, right, it can be fairly expensive. If you need other things to fulfill the duties of your class, you need a computer and stuff like that, that would be on you. Now, there's other ways to get around that, and you can obviously get a computer elsewhere, or you can get grants, or there's different ways to get the money for a computer. But that's one of the issues right now. Is some are saying, how do we determine whether we just provide tuition-free community college, or should we provide some money and some funding in there as well to make sure people can get books, to make sure the lower income earners can get access to a computer or internet. Right? So that's the other issue that we're seeing right now. Just those things alone, just the things that I just mentioned. That is the Affordable Care Act, ARP subsidies, child tax credits, earned income tax credits, Medicare, the expansion there, free community college, and universal pre-K. Just those things come up to right over $1 trillion. $1 trillion for just those things. There's still a big list of stuff that Democrats want to include. So that means the other $400 to $500 billion is going to go directly to climate change. So yes, right now, you want to see about a third of that money, 33%, go to climate change alone. Now, the issue with what Democrats are trying to do here is that they're pushing between 1 to 2 years of quality programs. Let that sink in. And I want to explain why. They want to see between 1 to 2 years of quality, fully funded programs for the American people. But many economists argue that even though we may have a couple good years ahead of us, here's the problem. We will still have to pay higher taxes for the next possibly 10 years in order to pay for these 1 to 2 years worth of better years. So, some say it's not a good idea and it's not a great trade. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you, because you are the American people, you are the voters. What would you rather do? Would you rather just scrap this entire bill entirely, altogether? Or would you rather possibly pay a little bit more in taxes every single year in order to fully fund this $1.5 trillion human infrastructure bill that could mean additional maybe 1 to 2 years of benefits? Whether it's expanding Medicare, free community college, universal pre-K, the child tax credit payments. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Now, I want to touch on the debt ceiling for a second. And here's the reason why. Over the past day or so, I've been getting a lot of questions as to what is Congress going to do? What are Democrats going to do? Why are Democrats still debating using the budget reconciliation on the human infrastructure bill when they have to worry about the debt ceiling come December 3rd? Here's what we know. According to Nancy Pelosi, she actually supports shifting the responsibility of ensuring that the U.S. doesn't default on its debts. She wants to switch the responsibility from currently Congress to then push it over to the Treasury Secretary, who right now is Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Last month, Representatives John Yarmouth, who's actually said he's going to retire, he is actually going to be done as a congressman after next year. Him and Brendan Boyle, they both introduced a bill that would do just that. It would do exactly what Nancy Pelosi wants. Move the responsibility from Congress to the Treasury Secretary. Just one person would have the power to raise the debt ceiling if they saw fit. Nancy Pelosi says, I think it has merit and it's an excellent idea. But what Congress is worried about right now is working on the stimulus package, working on the infrastructure bill, the government funding for fiscal year 2022. That's what they're worried about right now. they're not really worried about getting a deal done as far as the debt ceiling. And that's what many people are saying could be the issue. And this is why many Democrats are pushing to see the debt ceiling pushed over to, as the responsibility pushed over to the Treasury Secretary as opposed to Congress, at least from here on out. That's what they want to see. So whether this happens or not, honestly, I don't know, but we will see as we move forward. Here's what I can tell you. Today, the Social Security Administration said the benefits for next year for the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, this will actually be at 5.9%. That is good news to many people. Now, let me ask you this, okay? Because right now what we're seeing is some people say, you know what? That 5.9%, it sounds good, but the problem is I'm going to lose benefits because of it. It sounds great, but when I get paid more, I have to pay more in premiums. So let me ask you this. Is 5.9%, is that seen by you as a good thing or a bad thing? Now the benefit, it's going to be about $91 per month per beneficiary. So it's going to bring it up to about $1,657 per month. So I know it means you're getting a little bit more money, but at the same time, when everything else is costing more money, is it really worth it? Now here's the other thing we heard today. Pollsters are now saying that Democrats must pass these two bills and do it immediately, or risk President Biden's approval rating dropping even further. It's currently at 38%. Now, I was watching the guy's name, Clear Value Tax. You may watch some of his videos. He has some really good content. If you don't go watch him, I highly recommend you do. But Brian over at Clear Value Tax, he actually ran a poll. In his poll on his channel, okay, I just want to give you an idea. The media is saying President Biden's approval rating is 38%. But on the poll that Clear Value Tax did in their community, it was 13%. 13%. So let me ask you this. Do you think President Biden's approval rating is close to 38% or 13%? Let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are on that. But here's what these pollsters are saying. They're saying right now the one thing that needs to be done in order to improve President Biden's approval rating is to pass what was promised to the American people. They say that there's too many campaign promises that have yet to be fulfilled, and right now should be the time that they're worried about passing them. This means that $200 boost for people on Social Security, it was promised, hasn't been passed, hasn't even really been discussed. That up to $10,000 in student loan forgiveness, that has been discussed multiple times. It has been questioned. It has been brought up to the Education Secretary, Miguel Cardona, and yet we still don't have an answer. And this is 8 months. This is 8 months, or roughly 8 months into the presidency. Or 10 months. 10 months into the presidency. So it's been a while. Some say these promises need to be fulfilled. We're almost a year in, and not much has been done. Now in other news, this is going to impact a lot of people. Multiple airlines are saying that their prices will most likely have to go up in the future. Not really because of inflation. That's not the reason why prices are going to go up. The reason why prices are going to go up is because gas prices are going up, which technically has something to do with inflation. So what they're saying is that right now, the airlines are not worried about their profitability because they are staying profitable and they have such a big cushion that they can raise prices and still be profitable. But their problem there is they are going to have to obviously appease their investors as well. So that's what's going to push up prices. So just understand this is due to gas prices, but chances are much of the industry is going to increase prices very soon as well. So if you guys start to see that, oh, it's costing a little bit more money to go to my whatever destination I normally go to, that's the reason why. Okay, gas prices are going up, so airline, their fees, they're going to go up as well. So that is what we know as of right now. Again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.